Hello friends, Lady Lee here from Lady Lee's Home. In this video we are making strawberry jalapeno jam. Every spring I try to make something different with strawberries when they start to come in, and strawberry season is right around the corner. Here in the south we already have some strawberries in the stores mostly that are ripe and delicious and ready for all the good recipes. This year, I have different recipes on the blog. I have a mixed berry jam and a honey strawberry jam and a strawberry bread. I'll link a few of those recipes below. This year, to add to that collection of recipes, I decided to make strawberry jalapeno jam. And let me tell you something, adding jalapenos to sweet fruit just takes a jam to the next level. It's almost like at the beginning you're not sure that the jalapenos are there, and then boom, the spiciness kind of hits you, but it's not too spicy, it's not overwhelming, and it just a delicious addition of a little bit of a kick that really takes any jam to the next level. I will link a couple more recipes in the description below for peach jalapeno jam and mango jalapeno jam. Anything that I've tried came out delicious. It's basically the same process for any fruit and jalapeno jam. Is just the only thing that changes is the length of time that you cook the jam, because each fruit has a different amount of liquid in it. Alright, so to start with this jam, we just dice the strawberries, remove the tops, and then dice the strawberries. Nothing special here. We're going to blend this jam after it cooks for a little bit, so it doesn't have to be cutting the strawberries in a special way. The next thing that we're going to do is dice the jalapenos and take into consideration that the spiciness of the pepper is mainly in the white membrane and the seeds. So if you want your jam to be spicier, then leave more of those parts. If you want it to be a little less spicy, then take out more of the white membrane and the seed. Add the peppers and the strawberries to a wide pot, and next we're going to add the sugar. I am using, so traditional jams will tell you to use 1 part fruit to 1 part sugar. For me, this is way too sweet, so I usually cut my sugar in about half. Here, I actually cut it even more because the strawberries were just so ripe and so sweet. So I used 4 pounds of strawberries, and I do recommend not to process more than 4 pounds of fruit, because when you go more than 4 pounds, it's kind of hard to get the jam to gel properly. So I usually don't process more than 4 pounds. I use 4 large jalapenos and then 1.5 pounds of sugar. Now, since we're using less sugar than the traditional 1-to-1 ratio, we're not going to be able to use store-bought pectin to gel this jam. But no worries, I will show you a very easy and natural way to gel jams, any jam, without the need to get store-bought pectin. It's just one less thing that you need from the store, and there's a really easy way to do it naturally. All right, so once the fruit and the peppers and the sugar are in the pot, turn your heat to about medium high and stir frequently, especially at the beginning, until the sugar melts. Bring the jam to a boil, and once it's boiling, let it boil for about 5 minutes, and again stir frequently. Now you'll notice as the jam is boiling and cooking that strawberry jam makes a whole lot of foam. It creates a whole lot of foam. And a lot of people like to take a tablespoon and a bowl and just skim that foam into the bowl and remove it from the jam. I honestly never do that. I just keep on stirring as the jam cooks, and eventually, as you get to the end of the cooking, the foam just kind of blends back in, and I don't usually even notice it at the end. After 5 minutes of boiling, lower your heat to somewhere between medium and low for the rest of the cooking, and then let it cook for another 20 minutes or so before blending the jam. I use an immersion blender. You can also use a potato masher, and I personally like to leave big chunks of fruit in my jam. You can blend it all the way. You can leave big chunks of fruit. You can really do whatever you want here. Keep on cooking a little longer here. I'll write all of the ingredient list and the step-by-step instruction in the description of the video. But we'll keep on cooking for a little bit longer. Make sure you stir frequently, and you will notice that the jam is still pretty runny. Strawberries have a lot of liquid in them, so you can see here this is probably after about 40, maybe 30, 35, 40 minutes of cooking, and it's still very, very runny. So here's the natural trick that we'll do to help this jam gel. We are adding the juice of half a lemon, and then we'll also add lemon seeds, about 5 to 7 seeds or so. Lemon seeds have natural pectin in them, and they will help the jam gel. I often am asked if I remove the seeds at the end of the cooking before I can my jams, and the answer is I don't. I leave them in there. They don't change the taste of the jam even if it sits on the shelf for 2 years. They don't further gel the jam. They just don't bother anything. And then when we open a jar and we spread the jam on a toast or something like that, sometimes we kind of have to just, if we come by a lemon seed, we fish it out. But it's no big deal. If you want to, you can go ahead and find the lemon seeds before you can the jam. That's not a hard thing to do. Keep on cooking for maybe another 15 to 20 minutes or so, and then your jam's supposed to be in the right consistency. It can be a little challenging to know when the jam is done. That takes a little bit of experience. A test that you can make is just take a little bit of the jam and put it on a plate, leave it on the counter for 5 to 7 minutes to cool, and then kind of move the jam around and see what the consistency of it. So that's one test. But really, you'll get to kind of learn from just looking and moving the jam around if it's the right consistency. Take into consideration that after we process it in the water bath canner and it cools down, it's going to thicken even further. All right, so add some water to the water bath canner. The water should be covering the jars in about an inch. And then turn the heat to high and bring this water to a boil. Meanwhile, we're going to pack the jars. Leave about half an inch of headspace, and then use the bubble remover to remove air bubbles, and then a damp paper towel to clean the rim of the jar before centering the lid and closing the jar with the ring. Place all the jars on the rack, on the elevated rack of the water bath canner, and when all the jars are ready, just lower the rack slowly into the boiling water, cover the pot, and process the strawberry jam for 10 to 15 minutes. Once time is up, just turn the heat off and use the canning tongs to remove the jars from the hot water. Place them on a surface that is not cold, so maybe like a wooden countertop or a cutting board or a kitchen towel, something like that. And then we just leave them undisturbed overnight to cool down. Hopefully they all sealed. You can check for if they sealed properly by pressing the center of each lid, and if there is no movement there, then they sealed properly. If you have a jar that didn't seal properly, you can store it in the fridge and just use that one first. Store your jars in the pantry or a kitchen cabinet and they should last for a year and a half. I even have jam sitting on the shelf for a couple of years and it was still delicious and good. That's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. I will put all of the instruction and the ingredients and everything in the description below. I did not get to make a post on the blog for this recipe yet, but once I do, I will link that below too so you can print it out. And I will see you again in the next video. Thanks for watching.